Hello, my name is Brendan Grant. I work for the Minnesota Historical Society, and I'm also an avid home baker. Now, in ordinary times, you might run into me at the Mill City Museum, where I'm an interpreter in what used to be the world's largest flour mill. But obviously, these aren't ordinary times. I'm stuck here at home. Presumably, many of you are as well. And we're putting together this video because we've been hearing about people who find themselves with more time at home. They want to get into bread baking, but when they went to the grocery store to get the ingredients they needed, they'd already sold out of yeast. So in this video, we're going to teach you how to make what's called a sourdough starter here. It's a wild yeast culture that you can use as a substitute for baker's yeast. And you'll be able to make this using only flour and water. If you look at the sourdough starter, you'll notice that really foamy, frothy, bubbly texture. That's gas being released by all the yeast cells in there. But it's going to take us a little while for us to build up ours to look like this, because we're starting out with just flour, water, and whatever few wild yeast cells happen to land in there and start growing. Now, in the past few weeks, we've been hearing a lot about exponential growth, and it's a terrible thing when it's a virus spreading through a population. But in the case of our dough here, it's exactly what we want, because it's what allows those few cells to grow and multiply, and before too long, create a really very active sourdough culture like this one here. Now, as we're doing this, I thought it would be fun to make it a bit of an experiment. We're going to make two sourdough cultures. One is going to be using just white flour, and the other is going to be using whole wheat flour. We often get asked about the difference between those two, and it's that whole wheat flour uses all of the parts of the wheat seed. If you look closely at this flour, you can see those little brown flakes. That's little bits of the bran, the outer shell, and the germ, which is the embryo of the new plant. For white flour, all of that gets separated out. Whole wheat flour keeps that all in there. So we're going to make our sourdough starters with both, and we'll see which one grows better. Each starter gets 1 cup of flour and 2/3 of a cup of water. So there we are. That's step one. We're going to leave these uncovered for a couple of hours, and then we'll come back and check in on them. Well, it's been a couple of hours now. Our starter doesn't really look any different, but that's to be expected. It hasn't been sitting here very long. Hopefully it's been long enough that any wild yeast floating in the air have settled in there and started to grow. What we're going to do now is seal them, not airtight. I'm just placing these lids on here so that they can still breathe without drying out. We'll check in on them again in about 24 hours, but for now, you just want to leave them, let them sit. It's day 2. Let's take a look at how our sourdough is doing. All right. If you look closer there, you can see there's a little bit of bubbling going on. Might be some activity. There's also some liquid that's built up on these. So we're just going to pour that off and get rid of it. Now, we have to refresh this with some more food for that yeast. We're going to be adding in more flour and more water. And we want to add it in at a ratio of about 1 part new food for every 1 part of starter that's already there. The thing is, we added a cup of flour yesterday. If we're adding another cup today, then that means 2 cups tomorrow. And then 4 cups a day after that. Before too long, you're going to need a dump truck. So instead, what we're going to do is just get rid of about half of this. We'll just glop it out of here. Like that. You can make pancakes out of this or mix it into something, or you can just discard it. And then same thing here. So since we got rid of half, we're going to replace it with half the amount that we put in last time. So that's about 1/3 of a cup of water. And then half a cup of flour. Well, there we go. Same as yesterday. We're just going to cover these up lightly and leave them overnight. We'll check back in tomorrow. Well, it's day 3. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, we've got some lovely bubbles here coming along there. And same thing here, all along the side. We're going to do the exact same thing we did yesterday. We'll get rid of about half of these. There we go. Think you're getting the hang of it now? Put the lids back on. We'll check back in 24 hours. It's day 4. Let's see what we got. These are coming along nicely. They look kind of similar to what they did yesterday. And just like yesterday, we'll do the same. Dump, mix. Okay. Leave them overnight. We're almost there. It's been another 24 hours. Let's see what we got. More bubbles here. It's actually a little bit less active than it was the last couple days, but It's starting to smell a lot better. The last few days it's been a little bit funky. Now we're getting a nice kind of sweet and sour aroma to it. So we're going to do the same thing we've been doing for the past few days. Dump, mix in new stuff. And see you in 24 hours. And we're back. Let's see how we did. Lots of bubbles in both of these, all over the top, and especially in that whole wheat going down the side as well. That makes sense. There's more nutritional value in there for us as humans, but also for the yeast, so it responds a little more quickly to that one. Now, both of these are ready for baking at this point. What you can do is when you feed them, instead of discarding a portion of it, you'll take that and you'll just mix it in along with your ingredients. If you check the video description, we've included a recipe for you to use. As far as taking care of your starter going forward from here, fortunately, you don't have to feed it every single day. What you can do instead is just keep it in the refrigerator. And that way, the cold slows down the growth of the yeast enough that you only have to feed it maybe once or twice a week. The best thing to do is wait until the night before you're going to bake with it, feed it, then leave it out at room temperature overnight. That way it'll be ready for you in the morning when it's time to bake. So that's how to make a sourdough starter. Give it a try, and please let us know how it goes. You can comment on the video below, or come and check in with us at the Mill City Museum when we reopen. We sure hope to see you sometime soon. In the meantime, stay safe and bake well.